What's up? Trio Strive, bringing you guys another deck list, top 8, because Tack hates us, I guess. I don't know. I really wish I could talk to Tack a little better, but it just, the only way to find out their stuff is by going on pictures on Facebook, and everybody knows that Risu hates Facebook. So anyway, we got the top 8, BT23, Tack games, and as you guys may, we don't have much data, but we try to post the data we do got. And it's BT23 has been such a road trip of like opinions and emotions and like what is and isn't a good deck. Like obviously I have my opinions, the community has their opinions. I think it's been a little bit of odds. It's been a little bit of fun to kind of rage bait, I guess. I don't want to say I rage bait people, but like you know what? We're on the we definitely have the minority opinion, you know, but either way, we're gonna have an interesting top 8 to look at here from Tacky Games. I wasn't sure how many players were actually at this event, but it was on November 28th, just turned 29th, the end of the month. So crossing over, we actually finally got it on eggmanevents.com for you guys. We have Gallantmon, Guillaumon Bread. I feel like this is not the first time I've talked about Guillaumon Bread out of Oceania. Honestly, a lot of these players, Unknown is actually like he's using like Japanese characters or Chinese characters. I don't really know the difference. Ignorant American at its best, but we just decided to put it Unknown. So I'm sorry, I just don't know how to translate the symbols from a Facebook picture into the thing. So if someone wants to DM me the exact like kanji or katakana or whatever it is, if it is even Japanese, it might be a different language. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about. Gallantmon takes the whole thing. Huddymon, the big talk of the town, actually only takes one placing here, shrinking from previous events, while we're seeing some newcomers and some old comers, right? Rox is definitely showing up once again after a hiatus in the beginning of the format, and now definitely is getting more and more representation going forward. Mastamon is getting more and more popular, at least showing consistent results, or at least consistent topping. A version of Growlmon is mandatory for our top placing. Galaxy makes its return, along with a really interesting Lucamon list. So we can just scroll to the bottom, and we can start with 8th place, Silly Jack, and we're going to go talk about their list. I mean, at this point, I say it all the time, but I feel like it's fair to say, I would say it's fair to say that excuse me, I'm sorry. I would say it's fair to say that Rox is pretty solved. There's a few places people like to change, but you're usually using the same cards, right? Like, which ratio of these 3 Sunrisas, right, is definitely something a talking point. Are we on Gatsumon? Are we on the Floodgate Gatsumon? Like, a lot of these we're not, like, necessarily... A lot of these... Sorry, one second. Yeah. So a lot of these, like, we're not necessarily, like... Are all player preference, what you think your field is going to do, and how you prefer to lose, right? It's weird to say it that way, but oftentimes when you're making these like ratio decisions, you're choosing. More often than not, you're not choosing how you want to win. You're choosing which ways you're okay with losing. Like, I'm okay if I lose because I only have one of this particular Sunrisa in my deck, for example, right? Let me turn on this light so I'm like a little less in the darkness. There we go. But that being said, you guys know how it is. But like, you're seeing some of the same cards. We're actually on the Ukomon, which I think is like a mandatory 4 of, but people are finding ways to cut it and get consistency in other places. Landromon's a collection of the Landromon. Sometimes you see this one. This one's, I feel like it's particularly high count of the EX10 one for like, on average, what I've seen. Not saying it's bad. Like, this player just prefers it. And again, we're preferring to lose because we couldn't find this one to play close for free or examine. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at deck building. But none of these choices are wrong by any means. I think the most interesting choice to me is actually the return of Pyramidimon, the original EX6 one, which can sometimes facilitate OTK on its own, but you do have to naturally go through the checks yourself, which could be some of the problem. Whereas why the Magnetic Dramon is so good, the fact that it's able to suck up all the sources again, and reuse Tumblemons is what makes this guy so insane, right? And then trashing the top security, deleting a guy, it's clearly the better card, but sometimes we just need a level 6, right? Like, sometimes it's our replacement level 6 who's a 7, but our per minimum, like still wanting to go naturally into a level 6, so then we can digivolve into this guy for 4 later. It's not a bad ploy either. So I understand the choice to include this guy. Our collection of consistency, we need 3 unique emblems. We actually have Zofkabus along with Kongu, Defense Training, and Black Scramble. And then our collection of Tamers with a preference of the Memory Setter, as I think is kind of standard. Usually we see people choose one of the other between the promo and the EX10 close, but this player choosing to run both, so not bad. Congrats on 8th place, Silly Jack. And then we're gonna go into Hudimon, the queen of the town, the talk of the town, the thing that needs to be banned immediately, blah blah blah. Hudimon, we do see, has been moving on to not moving on, but there are definitely 2 clear builds of Hudimon going around, right? There is the pure combo line where you're using this Terriermon and maybe even the Palmon to consistently get the banana peel effect, where you're taking the top card, putting it underneath. Now you've DNA'd, you're back into Huddy, and you're just kind of comboing, or I think Huddy loop is what most people say. But this player choosing to be a little like having the Terriermon just in case. But the other option is definitely what this player is doing, is I call it the options, Hudimon options version, or defense version, like with the prevalence of Jesmon being as popular as it is in a lot of places. And the main thing about that deck being the fact that Genkumon makes all your Digimon immune from Digimon effects. Having access to these options is actually kind of amazing, especially with the Ryuji, because the Ryuji is when any of your Digimon suspend, including blocking, you get to use one of your options. So these all 3 of these are great. I think the yellow one, the green one, I think still has a chance to be good. It's just a little awkward. These 3 are just the most consistently good, like in terms of like, you know, the spread of situations that could be in front of you, right? So that's why we see a preference of Woken Palm, Comet Hammer, and Ice Archery. Especially, I think Ice Archery is probably was the most underrated one, in terms of like it was underrated and now it's really good and everyone's using it. So that one, little Betamon man, seeing more success than a lot of people were giving him credit for. Definitely Crescent Leaf. So Crescent Leaf probably still has a chance of being good. I think the yellow one's just not worth ever. I don't think anyone's ever given the yellow one the time of day. You're seeing the Tamer collection here. I'm pretty sure I inputted this correctly. The biggest thing I thought was strange about this list was the fact that we're on like 4 Erica. 4 Erica seemed really high, but this player was able to make it work. So that's it. And then we are including the Venusmon tech, and we don't have any backup level 5. So we're just pure Shakumon DNA. Better find it. We're not even running any of like the boost searching boosts to get there, just the Yugo. So just raw natural drawing hopefully gets us there is the play. We actually do have the Golemon, which I do like the Golemon. I've had it explained to me a few times how good this Golemon can be in the situations it comes up in. And it doesn't what's the word? It does not fall short on me how good this card be, but I get why a lot of like it's hit or miss for a lot of people. You're not always running it. You rather just have the consistency of like an Aquilomon, Angemon, Seadramon, like maybe fine tuning this triad of level 4s instead. So I'm not going to judge people too hard on that. But either way, congrats on 7th place, Matt P. And then we're gonna go on Miffy. Miffy's probably one of the most unique deck lists of today, of this top 8 for sure. Is Lucemon. There's a ton of Lucemon fans, and so seeing some success, any success from a deck like this is going to inspire people to play it. And I think the biggest thing Miffy has decided to put in their deck is definitely this little section right here. I don't think Leviamon was too crazy of a card to put in this deck. A lot of people were putting Leviamon previously, thanks to the original the original yellow purple one, EX6 Chaos Mode, which lets you play 7 Demon Lords from trash because of your effects, yada yada. So definitely makes sense why like Leviamon's always been around. It's still a great card, but the Mastamon, I mean, all our level 5s are purple yellow. If there's ever a point where we get 2 level 5s on the board, we're suddenly going into Mastamon, and then as well as teching in the Beelzemon Ace. This Mastamon's kind of crazy. You get to play, when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 5 or lower yellow or purple card from your hand or trash you're dropping, you're essentially dropping tactical nukes just for digivolving into your level 6. Any combination of these Lucimons is disgusting, and then especially if you're backing it up with Beelzemon Ace here, which by the way is also a 7 Demon Lord for this effect. We're just saying. So that being said, and then so like you can imagine, we're playing 4 of every good Lucimon for the deck. We're not like, I think the only one we're missing is like the original one from BT4, which that one like it was always kind of a one-up. Anyway, 3 of the larva maxing out on EX10 and EX6. While only keeping 2 of the BT18 ones. We got a Medieval Galamon, because why not? Same thing with Death X. Our collection of Satan modes with a preference of the new one. Madashida, because we do discard. The Madashida is always going to come up in purple because just discarding is good, right? And then we have an excellent way to discard here with the Cupimon gaining extra memory is busted. Calling of Darkness. Our one-ofs, we got Calling of Darkness, Dead or Alive, Gospel of the Fallen Angel. I keep thinking Babel of the Fallen Angel. Someone tell me why I think that. Paradise Lost is an amazing card for the deck, and we're running it at 3. 1 Revive from Darkness. It makes me wonder why we chose Revive from Darkness over another Dead or Alive. I guess, no, they all have, I guess this one doesn't have an on-play, but interesting to me nonetheless. I would love to... Maybe someone can tell me why. I mean, I guess it's cheaper. It's the big thing, right? Cheaper, and then it's a Digivolve target. Who knows what could happen after that? I guess I could convince myself into it. But that being said, congrats on, I believe it was 6th place. Then we get to go into Galaxy. This is Miffy. No, sorry. This is Queen of Games. This is Galaxy, but with like, I mean, Galaxy has just moved on ever since, was this BT22? Galaxy has just kind of moved on to a pure blue world. With Coronamon, it's just you need the heritable for Coronamon, so obviously you have it. Sunmon is infinitely better than either of the Moonmons. Flaremon, just in case people still try to play Floodgates against you, and that's what I was talking to one of my friends earlier, that like Floodgates are just kind of gone, right? So is an interesting world we live in. That being said, we're wrapping it up with 3 Ko and Sao, not the 4 that you would expect, but still good enough. Sayo, Blue Scramble, 2 Crimson Blaze, 1 Ice Wall, just a good option package to keep our consistency going. I'm surprised. The one thing I guess I would say is I'm surprised that there's no Invisimon. I feel like Invisimon goes really well into this deck still, and not seeing it here is interesting to me. Or even Examon. There was a world where like I feel like the new CS Examon could go really well, especially when you're talking about Sayo, or if you're playing like red level 6s that you want a hard to play anyway. So that is life. From there, either way, congrats on 5th place. We're gonna go on to Saber's Growlmon X Growlmon Loop variant, and it's Growloop, right? We're with actual like Growlmon middle end. So we've got the Growlmon that lets us play Guillaumons and Tocados. There's no Tocados spoilers. Growlmon X to avoid being bottom decked, maybe getting some extra DP, and being able to delete 10Ks is always something relevant. We have the Galamon promo Gallant, still a busted card. We go into Leviamon because it's still one of the best purple level 6s in the game, especially when you have Leviamon X anybody in the trash. It's just an amazing 2-piece combo. Ruin mode, because Ruin mode does still when you just locks your opponent out of 2 turns sometimes, and instantly can just win the game for you. Calling, Demonic Disaster, plenty of one-ofs, except Calling is technically, or Demonic Disaster is technically not a one-of, but you get my point. We got the one of Demonic Disaster, we got the Graph Crush, we got the Jack Raid, we got Purple Mem Boost, we got 7th Lightning, Scramble, Wisdom Training, and then 3 Protoforms to make it all come together and work. I guess the one thing I did skip on is the fact that there is an Octomon. Octomon's just fun. It's got an on-play, plays a Digimon on your opponent's side of the field. And what happens when that happens? Leviamon can trigger, right? Not bad. That being said, it is Growloop. There's not a lot that has changed. I think the level 4s and down usually stay the same, so nothing crazy. And then we're going to talk about our second Rocks player, the one I made a big deal about with their name being untranslatable for me with the way the data was given to me. Sorry. And again, as it's Rocks. This is third place. We're already talking about third place. Yeah, we're already talking about third place. We're talking about Rocks again. So this is gonna be our third place Rocks list. Actually, going back to a more like what I expect for a Rocks list, we're playing a couple of the new Pyramidimons because he's just great. One of the Blastmons sometimes is hit or miss if this card's in there, but this time it's in there. 4 of Magnetic Dramon, maxing out on the Memory Setter close with a preference of the EX10 close as our backup tamer. Digital Gate Open, which I've said that before. I feel like Digital Gate Open is a good card for this deck. I didn't get to talk about it in the first time we talked about Rocks in our 8th place, but Kongu. Kongu's a great card. Kongu is another way to stop Hudimon from doing its thing. And as much as people like, I like to say, like, as much as people are praising and in dread of how strong Hudimon is, I've always kind of said that, like, Hudimon's good, but the best decks are going to be the ones that beat Hudimon. Hudimon's not a deck that's like good, is a king of the castle totem pole, like at the top of the pyramid. Funny. At the top of the pyramid and undefeatable, right? Like it is a strong deck. It's the pace setter of the format. Everyone has to adapt to what that's doing and then figure out what's good. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a single Kongu can suddenly, that's all you need, and then you win the game as Rocks. Or you're seeing a Crimson Blaze. I'm surprised. I guess that goes into like a small conversation of what was it. And to wrap up on Rocks, like again, we're seeing Uko. We're actually maxing out our preference of rookies to level 4s, pretty similar level 5s, and then just a return to form. We got the trainings, we got the Digital Gate Opens, 3 unique emblems. I think 3 has been pretty much standard across every Rocks player we've ever seen. But what didn't top in Oceania? It's like Royal Knights was a big one, right? I'm on the record of saying I think Jessamon is the best deck of the format, which I could be right or wrong because it's not really a debate I'm trying to have. But like, no Jessamon topping. Maybe Risu's wrong. Rocks showing up way harder than we thought. Gallimon taking the whole thing, which we're about to get into. But I think there's a lot more people interested in what a Mastamon list looks like right now, right? So we got Blondie on a Mastamon list. And this is like a pure actual Mastamon list. This is no CS shenanigans, no KDA shenanigans. We talked about, was it K Dark Animal Mastamon before, and then from here I think we have to like kind of pick apart some of the little things. Like we're running Tokomon, so we're running a yellow base for the deck when a card is added to your security, draw a card. So we're trying to find ways to keep security going. We got the potato that should probably be banned one day. We got Candlemon, which is interesting, but I do like the card. It does digivolve on purple and yellow, which that doesn't really matter, I guess, but like I like to say it out loud. The interesting part is going to be the inheritable. When you play another purple Digimon, gain a memory. So that's just play, not by effect. So like often a big thing about the deck right now in Mastamon, or a big thing about the deck right now in the big thing about Mastamon and how you play Mastamon, which is so good, like this is what they've needed forever, is the fact that the level 5s just play for so cheap. The fact that these level 5s are playing for 4, these level 5s are playing for cheaper than the starter deck Gatomon that like is still like, I feel like the biggest crutch of the deck. Like if Mastamon just gets another level 4 that does something similar to what this Gatomon is doing, like the deck is gonna be disgustingly consistent. Like I promise you that this card is such a crutch in the sense that like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna digivolve for 3 in the back in 2025, almost 2026. Like you're insane. Or play for 5, a level 4 that is instantly just going to give you, it's not even 5k. You know what I'm saying? So obviously this card is good for what it does, but it is so poorly statted for 2025 that that's why I call it the crutch of the deck. I think that is such an Achilles heel of the deck right now. But that being said, these level 5s really do help alleviate a big part of what I think has been problematic for the deck. That being said, we are running three of only the Angelmons, because the Angelwomons tend to be a lot of our flex spots in terms of like cool things we can do, right? We're giving ourselves blocker, we're giving searching our security, we're gonna gain a memory when we play a Lady Devimon. We're going to -2 security something, or play a Mirai with it. So usually where we're trying to get some of our utility, so we cut down on one of this one. And like because of the Candlemon, we probably do have a preference of playing the Lady Devi over everything else, because the way things can combo out suddenly. Like this Candlemon's giving you 2 memory that turn, right? Like you're on an Angelwoman, you play this for 4. Because you're play this for 4. Let's say you pass to 4. Candlemon gives you a memory. You're back to 2. This Angelwoman gives you another memory. You're back to so let's say you go all the way for 4. You're at 0. You play the full 4. So 1 memory from Candlemon, 1 memory from this Angelwoman. And then you end of turn DNA, and then let's assume you play this Godamon or another or any purple level 5, which the Lady Devis are good. So that's another memory. So suddenly you choke to 1, and God forbid you have a Mirai that gains you memory back. You know what I mean? And that's if you were exactly 0. So there is some nutty combo potential there. However, we are on a preference of the promo Mesta, and that's kind of why the price is kind of like, the price of this card is kind of crazy. Promo Mesta is still ending up being like the most successful version of Mastamon, even though this Mastamon finally has the one thing everyone's been begging for, and it's partition. How does the Mastamon level 6 doesn't have partition? Like, it should have had partition. That's what makes Imperial Dramon so good. And like, nah, that's not what makes, I don't think partition is what makes Imperial Dramon so strong. Like, maybe I'm crazy, but it's part of it. But like, I don't think it's like the defining piece. I think Imperial would still be doing all its crazy shenanigans if without a partition, honestly. But yeah, no, it's Mastamon. There's plenty of Mastamon fans. I love to get to talk about it. And it's such a pretty deck. Like, even just like looking at it on a deck builder, just seeing like all the yellow, purple blend, like amber boost. Like, it's been a long time coming, but this deck has had so much time to get all the pieces in a row. I mean, I think the last thing to talk about pretty much is just going to be the Mirai collection favoring the BT23, which I still love. I'm sorry, there are so many times where I'm like, that's a Risu was right moment. And I remember when this Mirai dropped, and like so many of the Mastamon people that I know were saying, it's like, it's mid, it's whatever, it's not that good. And I'm like, homie, this card says draw 2. Like, in a deck where like I said this quote today in Discord, but I was just like, sometimes like Mastamon for me oftentimes was a deck that it's kind of like watching Fox on FD, just like they just SD. Like, sometimes, like, you ever play Smash Brothers and like your opponent just like loses for you? You know what I mean? They just they're trying to do some fancy thing and they just fall off. Like, that is how Mastamon seems to me sometimes, because it's just like, I didn't see a level 5, I lose. I didn't see this, I lose. I didn't see that, I lose. And it's like, just getting a draw 2 and set up your trash, like that card seems bust, and it plays your better Mirais. Air quotes, better Mirais, right? Like, the conversation is kind of weird when you frame it that way, but you could transition it into a Mirai for your combo is a better way to say it, which, again, disgusting. So I think this is a 4 of. I think this is better than memory boosts. This is better than trainings for the deck. This is like the coolest freaking card for the deck. So I think at 4 it makes sense. 1 blinding ray, because why the hell not? Extend our turn, and sometimes the turn extensions in Mastamon can get like ridiculous. Like I already had stated, like there are so many random memory gains that it just gets sick really quick. But that being said, it's time for first place. It's Galambon. Guillaumon Bread. It's Galambon X. It's nothing too crazy unless I made a mistake. There's a collection of we actually are on the starter deck, Guillaumon that does warp into a Galambon for 4. Not too bad. You actually can training it to make it cheaper, or you can scramble to make it a little cheaper as well. I think you end up paying 3 for it. Yeah, you end up getting 3 for it, which is not bad. That being said, what can I pick out? Starter deck Groundmon is always interesting. One of Guillaumon, because why not? This Groundmon is the delete stuff, and deleting stuff is just good, especially with Huddymon running around. It's like, I mean, I know the Tamer buffs up the DP, so sometimes this gets irrelevant really fast, but sometimes just getting the inheritable to like increase your DP deletions going forward is actually kind of nasty. Like, suddenly, all right, deleting 8Ks, deleting 6Ks, or getting a different effect, deleting 12Ks, deleting something stupid, 10Ks, and then it gets increased for each of their Digimon and Tamers. Like, kind of nuts, kind of strong, kind of good. And then I think this was the biggest include. This is probably the newest and greatest card in the deck. Just stopping people from playing from the trash, which can be kind of cool. I don't know. I think it's just like just purple hybrid that plays like playing Digimon from trash. Rocks does it a little bit. It's not a big deal though. I can't think of, is there any other deck really playing from trash? I guess, okay, Lucimon playing from trash. Other Geomons, other Geo loops. So we're just kind of trying to anticipate that and predict that. And then yeah, no, it's just Galamon. We got a collection. We got the secret. We got the promo. We got 3 of the X antibody with just really good collection of Galamons that can just go on top. We got 1 Crimson mode because threatening the ace is always a good thing. 1 of X antibody because sometimes you just get the OTK. Cool boy. We are on the cool boy version of the deck, so no Takatos sitting around here. The player saying I'm the goddamn Takato. 3 cool boys, 2 Crimson Blaze because it just stops Odimon in his tracks for a whole entire turn. Offense training, red memory boost, red scramble, 2 protoforms. Not playing the old one, and that's it. That's the list. Those are the top 8 from Attack Oceania. Tune in. Eagle's Nest this Thursday, today, I guess. Eagle's Nest is trying to do some stuff. I won't be able to stream them, unfortunately. Still on a streaming hiatus, unfortunately, for Digimon. So I breaks my heart every time we talk about it, to be quite honest. But support you guys. I still want to support the Digimon community as much as I can. I'm not trying to move past Digimon. You know what I mean? I'm still here, is really what I'm trying to say. So if you made it to this end, the end of the video, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. And I'm not gone. As much as it feels like I am in my heart right now. It's painful. Good night. All right. See you guys for the next one.